It's the realest.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your guy Realistic, and welcome to my tutorial vault. That's right, I'm gonna start grabbing some of my most classic tutorials over the years out of the vault and re-releasing them. That way y'all can enjoy, get your mixing and mastering skills back up. So if you find any of the information useful, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. That way this keeps showing up in your feed, and sit back and enjoy the content. So we've all been there before, right? Where we go and we want to automate our track here, where we want a little bit louder and we want a little bit quieter here, right? And then what happens is later on what we want to do is we want to maybe lower or increase the volume, but we can't because it's set to wherever we have our automation breakpoint at, right? So wherever we start to automate here, where it was originally set, it's going to snap back to that all the time. So we have this at -6. If I were to pull this down to -8.6 here, if I hit play, when your belly dance song, it's just gonna shoot right back to -6 no matter what, because we have that automated. So this can be really frustrating. So there's a few different ways that we can make life a little bit easier when we're doing this. Now, the way that Oracle suggested was to use some form of a utility plugin. In Pro Tools it's called Trim, and Ableton it's called Utility, and I think Logic it might be called Gain or something like that, but it's one of these type of plugins, and then you would just automate this actual volume right here. So that's one way that you can do it. Another way that I suggest to save some CPU and space on your channel here is to automate the last plugin, the output of the last plugin on your chain. And I say the last plugin because you don't want to do early on in the chain, because if we're going to automate this output, well, that's going to impact the input that's going to go into this compressor, whether we're lowering it or increasing it. So that's why I suggest just to automate the output here of your channel here of your last plugin. So we'll go ahead and do that, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. We'll create this little automation lane here of this output. So we're at -6. We could increase this here by 2, and if we wanted, we could bring this down by 3.5. And if I hit play, way that you work that body, work it in your hips like Bali. You see this stays at -6, and I could increase this and I won't have any issues. Work it in your hips like, right? It's not going to snap back there. So that's another way to do that. Now, if you're a Pro Tools user, I got one more way to show you, which I think is actually pretty cool way to do this here. So what you do is you create a VCA meter here. So we'll create that here. And then what we got to do is we got to create a group, because what we could do is we can control multiple volume channels at once, or we can control just one. So for this case, we'll just be controlling just this one here. So we'll go ahead and do that here. We'll create this group, and now we'll tell this VCA meter to control the Vox volume. And it's really cool because it translates really well with the actual output channel of the original signal here. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. We'll increase this one by 2, and then what we'll do is we'll lower this one by 2. And you can see that it's even creating these little blue lines right here that shows you. So it really does translate. You can see it really well on this master meter. If I were to change this here, you can see these little blue lines right there. It translates on the actual channel here, because originally we had this at -6. And so if I bring back here, we see that we have -4, and if I go over here, it's going to bring this down to -8. So it actually will move this meter. Now check this out. I can bring this up here if I want. I can bring this up by 2 dB, and it's just going to bring up the overall volume. If I hit play, when your belly, it's not going to snap back, right? But it's going to continue to translate this, because originally we had this where this was at -6 for our automation breakpoint, right? And so when we increased it, it went to -4. However, when I increase this by 2, it's still going to increase our automation by 2 as well. So that's why I recommend using a VCA meter if you have Pro Tools. It's just really easy, and we can make changes to our master volume here, and it's going to translate well, and it's going to translate on our VCA meter. So it's just really convenient and really easy to use. So hopefully you got a lot out of this video. Like I said, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this tutorial. If you found it useful, be sure to like and subscribe, because it does help the channel grow. When you like a video, it tells YouTube that you liked it and maybe other people will like it as well. And also be sure to check out my online mixing and mastering courses, the art of beat mixing, the art of vocal mixing, and the art of mastering, all available now. And if this video was helpful and you're looking for other videos, you can watch a video here, here, and here. All right, until next time, y'all.